Oh my goodness, what is this? This is what's good, Joyce.
Okay. Yeah.
This is what's good.
So,
Wow, yummy.
yeah, I made John something for what's good that he won't eat.
I know. I was telling Joyce, when I looked at this, I said, Joyce, I just started a 72-hour fast.
72 hours.
And people are thinking, how can you do that? How can you eat, or not eat in 72 hours? But I've done this before. I'm going to be fine. But I've done a lot of research on it. But it's really like building a brand new immune system after that 72 hours.
Because it's screaming at you, feed me.
If I don't fall off the chair first. But so I'm looking at this saying, oh, my goodness. But
when you say 72 hours fast, though, you're drinking?
I'm drinking water. I'm drinking a lot of black coffee, water,
beer.
Seltzer water. No beer. But, oh, my goodness. But I do that maybe once every couple months. Just basically to clean out the system. It's like building a brand new immune system. But again, don't do this at home unless you've done your research about this, because everybody is different. You want to consult your doctor before you do something that, crazy.
Well, especially if people have a medical problem like diabetes or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So but now you're used to it.
I'm used to it now. Typically what I'll do is I'll fast 1 day a week, 24 hours, 1 day. And I eat one meal a day between like 4 and 8 in the afternoon. And that's usually pretty much keto, a good mix of vegetables, lots of meats.
Yeah.
It's just more staying away from the processed foods, just taking care of the temple.
Right.
Yeah.
I see your posts and what you eat, and that makes me so hungry at night.
I'm married to the Iron Chef. My wife, Patty, is amazing. Puts up with all my stuff.
Most times I think you're in a restaurant, but she's cooking.
She's baking it. Yeah. I mean, you're an amazing, you're a baker, but you also...
I like to bake more than I like to cook.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in case you're just tuning in, this is What's Good with John and Joyce, our podcast, and we appreciate you having us on, where we just, talk about stuff, but we try to keep it light, inspirational, just be your respite from all the negativity out there in the world today. And so many people have been watching Joyce, and they're saying we really love the laid-back approach and the fact that you guys just are staying away from the politics and all the negativity in the world, and that's what we want to do. Just put a little smile on your face. Yeah.
And we want everyone to be happy.
And that's why we have our legs.
We want everyone to feel good.
We have our legs crossed. We're casual. That's an illusion of being casual. Legs are crossed.
Cross your legs and you'll feel better.
Even though one guy told me at the gym, Joyce, it's not manly for a guy to cross his legs. And I'm saying, what are you talking about? I'm comfortable.
You have a manly cross to your leg.
Well, thank you. See, take that.
Yeah.
Rob. Okay.
You got to laugh at things.
You do.
I mean, life is really about a mindset. Like you with your fast. Mm-hmm. That's a mindset.
Yeah, you get that tunnel vision. It's like a horse with blinders, like...
Yeah, but some people might say, oh, I wish I had that. But we really all have that.
Everybody does. Everybody has discipline.
Yes. When you really want to do something,
you'll find a way.
You do it. You just have to have that discipline about yourself.
So many people say, I can never do that. Well, just say, how can I do it? It's how badly do you want to do it? And if it's something you don't want to do, you're not going to have success at it. You have to find something you really want to do and just have an end goal in mind.
Right.
Have an end goal in mind.
And I know, like when you wake up in the morning, in a way, without even saying maybe what's good, which we always ask people, what's good, you are already thankful for what's good.
Gratitude.
As soon as you wake up.
First thing in the morning, so many people will say to me, how's everything going today? I said, well, I made a decision today to have a good day.
Right.
I made that decision. And people
go, a decision.
I like that. Because we can make a decision to be happy or miserable.
Right.
Happiness is an inside choice each and every day.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy when you get up, and you got to deal with the kids, and maybe the coffee maker didn't work, or you're going outside and the car didn't start, or you have a flat tire or something, or you got a bill in the mail that you're wondering how you're going to pay. But just take a deep breath and realize that this will pass.
Yeah.
You've been bailed out many, many times in the past during your life, and this will pass too, even though it doesn't seem that way at the time.
For certain.
You've been there. You've been there. You've been there.
Oh,
We've all been there.
As I was getting ready this morning, a phone call came in, and I could see it was this carpenter because I need my deck repaired.
Oh, join the club.
Oh, okay. We should talk about
We
this.
should.
So as I'm feeling all happy, getting ready, so I'm going to see you, I'm going to come to the studio. He starts giving me the price scenario
Oh.
that if they don't find a problem, it'll be this amount. If there is a problem, it'll be this amount.
And that's not good. That's not good.
And it was, and that's why I could feel myself sinking. Like,
Yes.
what? I think I even said, what?
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, don't attract that. Don't attract that. Because, and he was really a nice guy, really nice guy. And he said, get other prices and let me look at them because I'll be able to tell if they're doing it right or something. He said, you don't have to commit, to anyone or anything. It was really a nice guy.
He was taking the high road on that. I like that.
Absolutely took the high road, but it was a little too high.
Right. I see. I set up a softball for you.
Yeah.
There,
So maybe we could find someone that is not as high. So I have hopes with that because my deck is kind of rotting.
Yeah,
so
mine's rickety too.
It's
It
not
does work.
it's not safe for us to be out on it. But when the reason why I'm saying this is, I think many moons ago I would have been the person saying, "Oh my God." Of course it's this price, and then you
Like
set,
Eeyore, right? Eeyore.
Yeah. No, you set yourself up for kind of a down day.
You do.
And then the worst thing to do is start telling everybody.
Oh, no.
Like, you can't believe it, that guy was going to try. No, I looked at it as, I'll find someone, I'll get this done. And this guy was really, really nice.
Yeah.
So,
It was a classy response on his part.
Yeah, 100%.
But you're right. I mean, we only have so many minutes in the day or hours in the day and only so much time on this planet.
Yes.
And they say youth is wasted on the young so many times, that we don't find a lot of this stuff out until later in life.
Yeah, can
So-
we go back?
Can we go back? But if you're young listening in right now, like they say, don't sweat the small stuff. And most of it is small stuff. 95, 97% of what we worry about
Yeah,
really doesn't come to fruition.
yeah.
Yet we still worry, and we all have that in common. We're human beings. And if you do worry like that, cut yourself some slack, because we all do. We all do.
Yeah,
We just
very
need to
true.
correct our thought.
Yeah. And you need to learn how to manifest. You're stronger. You're more creative than what you realize.
Right. You need to call it in. Call in that good day.
Yeah.
What we say and what we speak over our lives says so much about the kind of day we're going to have. If we're like you
It does.
or Charlie Brown, you're going to bring that into your life.
Yes. I speak to many people like that, being in the type of business that I'm in, my type of, helping people with their mindset.
Well, your books help.
And-
Starving Your Fears and Living Abundantly, the two books that I've read already, they've
Well,
helped
thank
me.
you.
More
But
people should know about this book.
But it is, I'm laughing only because.
See, I'm your agent. I'm helping you.
Thank
this
you.
is going to
Thank
help
you.
more people.
No, I appreciate that. However, there are people who call me about my book, and then they spend, and I'm not kidding, 2 to 3 hours on the phone with me complaining about their life.
Yeah.
And I have to keep nudging them back
Right.
on track. Well, if you read this and you like this, you can do this. But then I realized that some people, maybe they need to purge it out of them.
Right.
And I know in my first book, Starving Your Fears, and I do strongly believe this, that if something happens, and I said this on one of the other shows, but I can never say it enough apparently, and I need to hear it too. It's stop telling the same story to everyone, that there's really only 3 people that need to hear your story. Your spouse, your doctor, your minister, and or a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Right.
Because other than that, your brain does not know the difference between that experience happening now and that experience that you experienced 5-10 years ago. And I see that happening when I watch a true crime
Yes.
story. Like we had Annie Lisa on
Right.
here.
What a
And
great guest she was.
Yes, and watch that show if you haven't watched it, about what my murdered sister,
Yeah.
what my sister told me after she was
I
murdered.
mean, that was international news like 10 years ago.
Yes.
Something like
And I was concerned about her, but she knows how to deal with it
Mm-hmm.
because she has to retell that story now as she's promoting her book.
Right. Over and over and over again.
And when I watch these true crime documentaries that are on, 2020 and Dateline 48 Hours, and even though it's a cold case, and it may have been 20 years ago that it happened, as they're interviewing the people now, they're crying, they're reliving it. I mean, they're going through it again. And I'm always hoping that they protect themselves right away so that it doesn't seep in and linger again.
I think when
inside of
Annie
them.
tells her story, she's been able to put things in compartments.
Yes, she is.
And it's so important to
Yes.
be able to do that. But you're right. It's like a channel. There's like
Right.
55,000 channels out there. And if you don't like the channel, change it. The same
Right.
thing with that reel that's in your head.
Yes.
That low light reel.
Yeah.
Now let's focus on the highlight reel.
Yeah, and you can do that. You can change your life at
Yeah.
any time.
That's right.
You really can. And you may say, well, John and Joyce, I'm stuck at this job. I'm stuck. Well, you might be right now because you need to make that income and have that insurance. But you can plan on something else.
Sure.
You can always make plans or even a side job or something.
Right.
There's always something I think that we all can do.
And I think about that job situation. I've been in some situations in the past I wasn't crazy about, but I had a job. There are some people that didn't have a job. And
Right.
I would have loved to have the job I have. Because think about the end result. You're learning. You're maybe blessing people in the workplace.
Yeah.
You're making new friends. You're learning a new skill, or you're sharing that skill with somebody else. There's
Right.
always a positive side of it. Rather than say, I got to go to that work. I hate that work. You get to go to work.
Right.
You don't have to
Right.
go to work. You get to go to work.
Yes. Hi-ho, hi-ho.
That's right. There's no wife in the 7 drawers, right? There's no one.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have to do, again, you're the creator of your life. And again, I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying it, is that the greatest paradox in life is that unless you love where you are right now, it's difficult to get to where you want to be.
All right. There are steps in life. How many times have you been through a situation and you look back at it later? You dreaded the choice at the time, but you look back at it and go, now I know why I had to grow through that. I don't say go through that. I say grow through that, because everything's a growing
It
experience.
really is.
We're growing either spiritually, mentally, physically,
Right.
whatever it may be. Look at it as a growing experience.
Right.
And again, we're not preaching here. We know because I screw up all the time.
Well,
and I
we
have to
live it.
correct my thoughts a
Yeah.
lot too.
Yeah, we live it. And, and it wasn't always a quote Pollyanna that some people
Kumbaya.
may think that it was. In fact, I was called a sullen teenager.
A sullen
By
teenager.
Sullen. I was angry a lot about silly things,
Right.
about things that my parents were right about.
Yeah, you were a teenager. Isn't it amazing how as we get older, we realize how smart our parents were? The older
Right.
we get, the smarter they become.
But something that's a really great analogy about that, because parents don't give up on people. I mean, people in general don't give up on people, because the things that were told to me when I was younger and didn't believe it, later on, it stuck in there.
Yes.
And I could hear those words and I could pull on that.
Right.
I used to have to go to church. When I was younger. I didn't want to be there. It was just something that I had to do. But later on, it stays with you. So you just don't give up. As my mom used to say, sometimes you give people advice and it sounds like they're just dismissing you. But in the still of the night,
Sounds like a song.
good song too, in the still of the night, they may think about what you said. So never feel like your words are wasted, especially the positive ones.
And how many times do you think people aren't really getting it, but they are? They come up to you later on. Like there's a young man at the gym who's not such a young man anymore. And I would always talk to this guy. I'd always say hello to him all the time. Ask him about his day. He didn't really say much at the time, but he told me like years later that you saying hello to me made me feel so good and
See
made me
that?
feel like I matter because nobody else asked me about my day.
Yeah.
And even though he didn't respond all that much because he was very, very shy and had a troubled home life, he said that meant a lot to him.
Right.
So sometimes when you don't think you're getting through, you are.
Oh my gosh.
Just by being kind to people. When we talk about that, talk about what's good, just being kind and never throwing the towel on people. I don't care who they are.
Right.
You don't want to enable people at times, but I have a hard time giving up on anybody.
Right.
I know that he doesn't give up on me.
Right.
With all the, crazy stuff I do.
But it doesn't mean you also have to stay engaged in that negativity.
You can love people from a distance.
Yes.
Certain family members are that way, right?
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. So what I always told people that I worked with, like one-on-one therapy, especially for anxiety, phobias, I mean, you name it. It's just a combo box of things like depression, is that every night, and I urge you all to do this, I still do this, that when you turn everything off and you're going to sleep, for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, you say to yourself every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. And that could mean in your finances. That could mean in body pain. Mm-hmm. I'm certainly living that now due to the car accident that I was in. But imagine it happening. Don't just say the words. Feel it in your body. Imagine what your life will be and is like without that. How does it feel not to have to worry about paying the bills? That money is coming in. How does it feel waking up in the morning without pain? Feel that. And your brain is listening and sends out these transmitters in your body because that's just the way it works. One of the greatest therapists I know was going to write a book called My Stupid Brain.
Wow.
Because your brain is the computer that runs our bodies. And what you keep feeding it will show up in your life. So if you keep saying, I feel sick and I'm in pain and I never make enough money, then it's kind of like that's what you attract. You get on that vibration and you get stuck on that track.
I'm never going to go on that vacation. You know what? You're not going to go on that vacation if you keep saying that.
Yeah.
But if you have pictures like vision boards, I think that's a great thing. A vision board, you put pictures up there, maybe a vacation you want to go on, and you look at that and say, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go to Ireland. I can't wait to go see the Northern Lights in Iceland.
There you go.
I can't wait to go to Italy.
Right.
You're speaking like it's already in the schedule.
Yes.
It's amazing, like you said, Joyce, how that can come into existence.
Yes.
Because the universe or God, whatever, can mirror that.
Yes.
And it can bring it into
mirror that.
And I'd rather speak abundance over myself than, beat myself up. The world beats us up enough.
Yes.
So let's speak, like
be
you
your
said,
best friend.
Claim it. I mean, right. If anything, be for yourself.
Right.
Be on your own side.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty easy to do, although it seems to be difficult.
Well, in theory, it's easy to do.
In theory, right. But just like you with the fasting, once you start doing something, it becomes easier and your body starts liking that,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But initially, the very first time you did it, it was a little rough.
And
right?
it's the thought of it, too, with the fasting. The thought of it, like last week, I'm thinking, I got that coming up. But then once you're actually doing it and you've made your mind up,
yes,
tunnel vision. No matter what happens, I've made my mind up that I'm going to do it.
Right.
And then it gets easier. The first day is always the hardest. Second day, a little bit easier. Third day gets easier.
Yeah.
And you're still plenty of energy, less brain fog. And my workouts are still good. I just feel like I'm lighter on my feet.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
So make up your mind to do that because your mindset changes your life, and you can do that in that sometimes it's gradual and sometimes it's not so gradual. It happens right away.
Everybody's different. Don't compare yourself to other people, because comparison's the thief of joy. What works for somebody else may not work for you. So just run your own race. Walk your own race.
Yes. And when you look at people who have great wealth, I urge you not to say something negative about them.
Nope.
Because that brings down you and your ability to have that same kind of wealth.
I think, the great wealth is a good thing when it's used in the right way. A lot of these people, they took risks.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people employ a lot of other people out there. Mm-hmm. So I've never been one of these people to say, oh, they're so rich, this and that. I'm going to say, I'm happy for them. Yes. I'm cheering for them.
Because the only thing we really want in life, we've talked about this and we will always talk about this, is even the wealthiest person, I think they really want happiness.
Sure they do.
And they want to have choices. I think what happens is when they cross over that and it becomes about greed.
Right.
So we're not talking about greed. We're talking about having an abundance of money and great health, right, so that we can enjoy our lives and help our families and help our community. That's what we're talking about.
Because when you do have that overflow, it blesses other people as well.
Yes.
It really does. And you're right, the love of money. That's I believe that's, but when you have that extra money and you're able to help other people and be humble about it.
Right.
And sure, how you spend your money, that's up to you. We're not going to judge. But when you get so many of these people, and I know a lot of wealthy people that are they have good hearts. They give so much of it away.
Right.
They're deeply spiritual in many, many ways, and they're grateful for what they have.
Watch A Christmas Carol.
Yes.
And it made me think of Scrooge. It's one of my favorites to watch because
it's timeless, the message.
It is. It is. And especially the ending, because that kind of euphoria, happened when he realized his whole life and the future and everything, and he saw the suffering of people and how he could help them. And it just made him not only help others, but my gosh, he enjoyed his life.
Yeah, but just having that guy in the big Grim Reaper outfit would scare the heck out of me too. I'm going to be good to everybody if I see him showing up in my bedroom,
Right.
But seriously, when he sees Tiny Tim and how he's able to help and benefit that family, and just realize that wow, it's not just about me. It's about other people. And just appreciating your employees or your team. You're only as good as your employees. And I think he had a greater appreciation for him rather than thinking he's just my servant.
Exactly. And then it's all about the money and saving the money, not spending it.
Right, yeah.
But saving it for what?
You can't take it with you.
Right.
Can't take it with you.
Yeah. So mindset is everything. And from the time you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm going to make this a great day. It is a great day. To the time you go to bed at night and just say, wow, wasn't it a great day? Everything was so good. And I know how much mindset is, because when I go to physical therapy and they point out what's still not healing,
right,
I hurt for a while until I remind myself, no, I am healing.
You are healed. You're speaking in the affirmative.
I am better. I am doing that. But something like that, if you have someone always saying, well, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Or how come this isn't happening? You have to build that foundation within you. You really do, so that nothing really takes you off track. And that just comes with gratitude throughout the day. No matter what it is. If a doctor calls you about something, say, aren't I lucky I have a doctor?
Right.
Aren't I lucky that I can go for some blood test and do that we have some really great people watching out for us.
I don't like these shoes. Well, be grateful that you have feet where you can put the shoes on. It's just, twisty. And I can find myself getting in a mood once in a while. And my wife will correct my thought, or I'll correct her thought. And we'll look at each other and go, yeah, you're right about that. It just changes everything. So if you have somebody who's really good at correcting your thought, that's good. Accountability partner is always good too.
Yes.
If you're able to have that person.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I have a few people in my life that will stop me.
Right. Enough already, enough. Be grateful.
Yeah. The first time that happened to me, though, I remember feeling like, but this is happening in my life. Like when my husband was dying. And I was asked by someone, that I adore, and how is it going? And I started to go down that dark way of reality.
Yes.
And she just said, stop. She said, tell me how you are right now. Like, I didn't ask about this, and that. But tell me where your mind is at right now and how you see yourself, coping with it. And she made me change the way I spoke about it.
Right.
And that began to uplift me inside.
That's a good friend.
Really good friend. Yes. Her name is in my book, Abundance Now. I dedicated the book to her because she's always been the one that held up the mirror to me, that, kept me on track. Now, you may say, aren't you lucky you have a friend like that? Well, I kept a friend like that.
Right.
I think there are other people that might say, I don't want to hear it, but I wanted to hear it. I wanted to improve my life. But
even when you don't necessarily want to hear it, but you need to hear it.
But you need, yes.
That friend is there, and I have a couple of those friends in my life too. Say, hey, listen, and it's all how you preface it. Listen, I love you. Everything I say is here to your benefit.
Yeah.
But I've got to tell you something here, and just please take this the right way because it's coming from a place of love. So I think it's really important to preface your comment like that rather than coming across as being accusatory.
You're right.
That's very strong, But,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like Joyce, like you said before, the beginning of the day, expect good things to happen. At the end of the day, I like to go through my entire day and say, I'm really grateful for that person I met in the coffee shop today. I'm really grateful for that nice thing that somebody at the gym said today.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful
it's
that
the little things.
Little things.
It
I'm grateful
have to
for
be
my
big.
for my bride at home.
Yes.
That I have her at home. That she's such a great cook, but she's so supportive of me and everything I do, and vice versa.
Right.
I'm grateful for my kitty cats.
Yeah.
Who greet me and love me unconditionally every time I come in the house. I mean, just things like that. I'm grateful for the, Dave and Stefania here at the studio that we, broadcast from in Brantford. I'm grateful for you and your friendship all these years. Just gratitude, and it just lifts you up when you're pointing out all the things you're grateful for.
And we wish that for all of you. You can do it.
You can.
Do it.
And this is What's Good with John and Joyce, available on all your streaming platforms. So please tell a friend about it, somebody who needs a pick-me-up, somebody who needs an escape from all the negativity out there. And we appreciate you, and we appreciate you watching, and we're just so grateful.
Yeah, we do this for you. We want to lift everyone.
And we pray for you and your family, your health, your happiness, your abundance, and nothing but the best for you and your family.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.